Hello, I'm Counselor Fox. I am a family and trauma counselor and founder of Fox Adoption and Counseling LLC and the developer of Remm. That's an acronym that stands for Replacement Experience Memory Method. Together, I co-developed the military and first responder version with former U.S. Army Specialist McLean so that we could precisely fine-tune my PTSD and stress and anxiety therapy to be applied to the military and first responder community so that it more addressed the specialized trauma of combat, war, and extreme stress under pressure, which would equate to first responders, including the families, spouses, and caregivers of military and first responder families. On this video, we're going to be looking at direction. Now, direction is part of the teaching tool that goes along with Remm, and that is EDSAM. And it simply is a series of steps that you're going to take through the series. So outline, the acronym EDSAM stands for Education, Direction, Support, Application, and Management. EDSAM. So direction. Direction is very important, from this point forward, because of the route that it might take you or the destination that you may arrive at. So if your direction isn't clear, your direction isn't sound or even valid, then you're moving in the wrong direction. A lot of us come to a Y in the road. Maybe you at this particular point in time are at your Y in the road and you don't know whether to turn left or to turn right. Just let me advise you, don't be the guy that doesn't turn left or right and slams right into the middle of the center divider. I've driven hundreds of thousands of miles. The average amount of miles I used to drive a year in another profession was 72,000 miles a year in my personal vehicle that I use 95% for business. So I have seen probably a dozen or more injuries. Some of them I'm sure were fatal, where cars, trucks, commercial vehicles slammed right into the center divider and did not turn left and did not turn right. So don't be that guy that slammed into the center medium. Choose left or right, but before you choose, maybe negotiate what is going left going to mean to you and what is going right going to mean to you. So there's a couple of bullet points that I have outlined in the Remm manual that I just want to go over with you on this particular video that has to do with direction. One is don't suffer what engineers call paralysis of analysis, where you forever sit and analyze something but never end up doing anything about it. Another one is choose a path toward healing. A lot of times I think people are after the superficial fix. Now, for me, I can put in the category of superficial fixes things like sex, drugs, alcohol, yoga, even part-time activities like fly fishing, okay, which is a wonderful activity, but the only peace sometimes that you can find is when you're out there fly fishing. I would like to be able to see you learn how to take that peace that you receive in something as simple as fly fishing alone on a big river in central Montana to your home, your work, and your family, whether they're in the car, at a restaurant, or at home. Okay? So that kind of peace and calm that you find with a enjoyable activity, okay, oftentimes does not translate or transfer over to other areas in your life because of possibly lack of skills, lack of tools, lack of knowledge, lack of support, care, and yes, lack of healing. So that's why Remm exists, is to fill those gaps. There is an old Native American saying, being 1/8 Cherokee, I can attest to having read many Native sayings and met with many Native Americans over my life. And this one says, better to be a flowing river than a stagnant pond. So there's not much sense in me going over that one. You can figure out in your mind what that one means. Another bullet point is adapt a motto. Nike's motto is just do it, and Chevrolet's motto is now travel new roads. No, find new roads. That's it. Find new roads. So that's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to find new roads and then just do it. Okay? If you're seeking for a PTSD, MTBI, CT therapy that will be extremely affordable, that will be extremely helpful, and that will fill the gaps of lack of care, lack of support, adequate support, and lack of level of healing that could be minimal to 100%. Like myself, who used to have two different events in my life led to PTS, and I don't know if I actually went to PTSD, but I wasn't very good at handling it for quite a while. And then I was, as a result of learning how to handle it and learning where my healing comes from and how it would affect me. And now I am healed from that. So many of you also have gone to completely valid and legitimate therapies within the VA or within the mental health system. Some of those therapies exist are CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Another one would be EMDR. That would be eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So a lot of syllables in a row. My brain has gone through some malfunctioning because of my multiple concussions, football, motorcycles, and hitting the tile floor after falling down a set of stairs. So there are parts of my brain that don't function exactly correctly, as you just heard, and other videos, play that out as well. That's just part of my disability structure, part of the thing that I have to deal with. I just recently saw I'll just, for vagueness sake, I'll say I saw a person on a talent show that stuttered, that faced enormous fear and enormous challenge and overcame all of them by facing his fear and facing those challenges in spite of the fact that he stutters. And he still stutters today. That makes him unique. And now he uses it to his advantage. I have some mechanics in my knee and my lower back and my brain that don't function correctly all the time. That's just my particular makeup. If you were in my family or circle of friends, you would hear me say multiple times that, the only thing permanent is change, and everybody has something big in their life that's a problem. Everybody does. Whether they're willing to admit it or not usually is the question. Another one of those techniques is flooding. Legitimate, except in flooding, there's something that takes place where they produce anxiety-provoking stimulus in order to get you desensitized to what you experience. So let's just take, for example, so that we don't hit any triggers, let's just say that your particular issue was the sound of an engine running, okay, and it was the sound of a tank engine running, and your particular event involved a engine tank running. And now every time that you are near a large commercial diesel truck that has the same type of an engine and you hear it, all of a sudden you think a tank is coming towards you. So if that analogy worked at all, that kind of plays into flooding. So what would happen is they would take that sound and some visuals and some other elements, and they would slowly get you used to that and try to have you control your anxiety, control your reaction. Well, where Remm can take you a little further from that extremely valid and helpful therapy is maybe because of knowing how it affects you and what can be done other than that particular therapy to go beyond that in the form of healing can once remove that reaction forever. Now, there are those who would challenge that that actually happens. But it's not me who's doing the healing. It's not me who is doing any healing whatsoever. I simply give you the doors to go through, and you decide whether that is the right path to take. So that being said, to learn more, you can go to my website, which is remmworks.webs.com. You can send me an email to become a member of a stress support group, or SSG, or a group leader of a support group as well. You can send me an email at remmworks42@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at remmworks, and then you can go to my Facebook page /remmworks. So God bless you, and if you don't practice what you preach, you're not worth your weight of anything. So I support my military, my National Guard. One of the things that I hold very, very dear to my heart not only is the flag that you see over my shoulder, which belonged to my father-in-law, but is this, that I received also at his funeral, and I carry this in my pocket many times and have it on my desk. It's very precious to me and reminds me that the Patriot Guard that pays tribute to the fallen soldiers when they reach their final resting place is one of the most amazing things that's done for our military. If you would like to do something amazing for your military, and you would like to become simply a group leader and lead a group of individuals to find that care, support, and healing, then please, I invite you to get involved. God bless and take care.